Connor Murtagh from Solares in Spain. How are you, mate? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you. Very well.
Good. So today we've got you on basically to talk through your journey. Tell us where you started to becoming a professional basketball now in Spain, and how it all begun really. So fire away. Tell us what is it you're doing now? What is before obviously your lockdown? What?
Yeah. So before the lockdown, I was in EBA playing for CB Solares in Spain. Had a bit of a roller coaster of a season, man. I can't lie. Great start. Had a bit of a mellow sort of in the middle, and but it was, all in all, it's pretty well. It's just a shame that it had to end, obviously, because of all of this that's happening at the moment.
Yeah,
it's quite difficult, man. But looking forward to the next one anyway.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
And what will be the plan? Will you just go back out to Spain and continue? I imagine the season's done now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the season's done. I think the Spanish, they suspended suspended all the seasons in all leagues. So I'm just kind of waiting for all the leagues to reopen, coming from the government, sporting federations from each country, and just kind of playing it out. My plan is to go back out there, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's just all like timing at the moment, just waiting to see what comes about.
How are you liking it out there? You enjoying it? Is everyone Spanish? Can you speak a bit Spanish?
Poco. It's you know what? It's tough, man. It's tough because I've always wanted to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
So obviously having the opportunity to immerse myself into the community and stuff, I did learn a lot. Can't say for the last 3 weeks I've been back now that I've studied, but I should, because I do want to continue to keep learning, and it'll be useful for when I do go back out there, hopefully.
Yeah.
All
right, cool. Well, just sort of start from the beginning, really, mate. Just tell us, where it all began, and then build on that.
Yeah. Right. Well, it was basically I was playing football, and then had a big growth spurt in like year 11, first year of college, and I just started saying like, let me try what basketball. Like I used to play in school a little bit. I always used to play for the school teams, but I never sort of put myself out there to go for like another team outside of school.
Yeah.
And I see there was one local to me. It's called Sutton at the time. I know you may know them from way back.
Yeah.
And there was, I think if you remember, Callie and Kano were running the team at the time.
Yeah.
And I just went down, and you know what? I didn't even own a pair of basketball shorts back then. That was how like unprepared I was in going into this. Like I really didn't, and I was playing Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, they were like ankle weights at the time. But so we started off there in the under 17s league and in the ball hall. That was pretty much my primary spot, was the ball hall Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
And during that time, like I said to you earlier, like Don would give me some more opportunities outside of the ball hall. So I'll be traveling to Liverpool, I'll be traveling to sometimes Manchester or the Wirral. And you just start to build up some connections along the way. Bumped into a guy called Colin Rivet over in the Wirral, and he invited me down to go play for Cheshire Juniors at the time.
Yeah.
Had one hell of a season. That was a year I was with Josh McSwiggan, Jamal, quite a few other notable players on that team as well.
Yeah.
But from the ball hall, those two guys. And we had a good year. I think quite strong, very young team. But for my first season, man, I finished top of like the junior program under 18s.
Yeah.
And for me, being this like 6'2", 6'3", chubby guy who couldn't, let's be honest, I couldn't dribble the ball, I couldn't really shoot the ball.
Yeah.
It was more just rebound, layups, and running.
Yeah.
And for me to do that, and then to then go to Manchester Magic in the seniors the next year, I was like, I actually might have something here. You know what I mean? Like I saw like every year I was progressing, and I thought, wow, like let me see how far I can actually get.
Yeah.
And I played 2 years with Manchester, very good years. They really transformed me into the sort of player that I am now, from that sort of chubby five man to playing like the 2-3 spot at the moment. And then after those 2 years, I had the opportunity to go to play for Great Britain under 20s.
Yeah.
Again, that was with Josh as well. I was with Josh for most of the time, for most of the training camp. Most of the time that he was out there, yeah, we had a great time out there. That opportunity then brought me to Manchester Giants.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was my first real test of like the professional basketball, like serious basketball. Like that's where people are getting paid,
Yeah.
and they're not taking it lightly because.
How old were you at this point?
I was 20, I think,
Right.
at this point.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that. That was my fourth proper season.
Yeah.
Like fourth full season of playing was for Giants.
Mm.
A lot of notable guys on there as well, but that was an experience like no other. Like just being able to travel to these different arenas that you've actually watched, like on YouTube, or you've watching clips. Like some of these guys, like I was looking at in my science class. Like I would go on and check the BBL website, and I'll see these guys. I'm like, oh, right, like these players are so good. Like look at this guy, and then a few years later, they ended up being my teammates, and some of them quite good friends.
Yeah.
And you think, and it's like, wow, like this experience is actually crazy. Like when you think about it, do you know what I mean? But yeah, after the Giants, I took some time because I wanted to go back and go finish my degree. So I then signed with Lancashire Spinners.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 years. Again, great experiences in other ways. Like I was able to be a leader on the court. Never really had the opportunity, but I was able to be sort of a bit of a leader, a bit more forceful on the court. So I'm grateful for the guys up there who gave me the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
And then that led me into my final year. Had 1 year left, and I was at Chester. That was in Division 3. Again, it was just another season of being able to be a leader, sort of help the team, control situations. That, like, for someone like me, I would never be a part of. Do you know what I mean? I was able to sort of do that, and it's helped me as I've gone into my last 2 professional seasons. I was in Italy last year.
Tell us how these opportunities sort of come about as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I finished my year with Chester. I say a great year. I started working out during the summer, and this first one when I was in Italy, the first opportunity came from, it was like a friend. It was from Dom. It was a mutual friend from Dominic, and he just got in contact. This coach from Italy got into contact and just like, oh yeah, this guy, like how is he, etc. You know, like what most coaches do with other coaches, and then the coach got in contact with me. And he phoned me and we had a conversation for about an hour on the phone. And this one, because it was my first year, this one was done like sort of like directly from me, like coach to player.
Yeah.
So I was able to really get a glimpse of what he wanted from me, what he wanted for the team and stuff like that. And that coach, Daniele, was a very, very good coach to me. And that will be a great experience in itself, like being a part in Italy.
Yeah.
But the second time when I finished my season in Italy, I did manage to have an agent reach out to me. Then we talk and it was like, okay, we seem pretty mutual on what we feel like is achievable for me. Yeah. So I'm not delusional to think that I will be in the NBA, although it's good to have dreams.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, I have to be realistic and know what my capabilities are. And we spoke with my agent, and then he got me the opportunity to play in Spain.
Yeah.
And that obviously led me up to last year, where I played up until I think end of February, March.
Yeah.
And then we all had to sort of pack our bags and go home.
Yeah.
Before it all got to us, man. Yeah.
So what where's you been your most enjoyable, do you think, up to date?
Ooh, most enjoyable. Okay, for the full season would probably be my first year at Manchester, Manchester Magic, because that was the first time I moved away from home.
Yeah.
So it was a whole new experience in itself anyway. Actually, like, doing chores, like, I don't understand. Like, at the time was just crazy to me.
Yeah.
But that was a great year because I had a lot of people, like, looking out for me and stuff, and built some good bonds with some good people that I'm still good friends with now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What was it? What was it like moving to Italy as well? I imagine that first time abroad and having to live overseas, with foreign language.
Yeah, that's tough. Like, a lot of people will tell you, like, yeah, you'll get used to it. You start to learn the language, you get used to it. But that first week hit because it's such a small town. It's not like it's a big capital where it's very diverse. It's a small town.
Yeah.
So not many people could speak English. Yeah. And for me, obviously, I did try to learn Italian, but again, it's that culture, it's that barrier, the language barrier.
Yeah.
it can be difficult sometimes for a player.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're by yourself as like the only sort of English speaking player, it can be quite difficult. So overseas life is not like, it's not for the faint-hearted. Don't get me wrong, it is enjoyable, and if you're playing basketball and it's going great, like it's one of the best experiences.
Yeah.
And I can't front, but there are going to be times in the season where you just sat there. It's like 6 o'clock in the evening, and you're like, this is like the 50th time I've been in this position. I'm bored. Like, what do I do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you just find other stuff, like other ways to keep yourself entertained and stuff. But
Jamal said a similar thing. To be fair, Jamal,
Yeah.
when we had Jamal on, he was saying the exact same thing. You know, there'd be times where, obviously, not playing basketball, it could be pretty lonely and boring.
Unless you've got like about 100 things on your list on Netflix to watch that are legit enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like you do get bored. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like there's only so much you can sit in front of a TV, or
Yeah.
there's only so many times that you can say, okay, I can waste 30 minutes by stretching.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't add up to all the minutes in a day, and you just got to keep yourself sort of like aligned with why you went there in the first place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And just really think about where you're going forward.
Yeah. So, you're in Spain now. What are the future plans?
Well, yeah. So, like I said, coming home now from being out there, it's given me time to really think about, like, sit down and think about it. Again, it's all just sort of waiting around, waiting for these leagues to open up again. I've had it's like contact with some teams already, but you can't make any sort of decisions or like forced decision at the moment because we just don't know how long this situation is going to last for.
Of course. Yeah.
If the season was start in September, then yeah, I'd love to be back out in Spain with some good teams out there. Obviously, they've got very high level coaches. It's a good place to still develop. Like I've only been playing, even on 26 now, just turned 26. Like I'm still looking to keep like improving. There's no like, you can't just be lazy and just rest. You've always got to look to improve. Like not, I wouldn't say every day because that's so cliche to say, but you do have to improve. Like if you're not improving on one level, you have to improve in another.
Yeah.
And but do you know what I mean? It really does. It really needs to happen.
If you could start again, obviously I imagine for you probably want to aim to start younger. But what would you do differently if you were starting over again, or what would your advice be for those that are starting out? You know, what would be the change?
Man, do you know? There's some decisions that I will take, but like I can't really be too direct because it will cause a little bit of conflict.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
But there are some decisions that I wish I would have made. Like, for example, I once turned down an opportunity because I was so hell bent on like working as an accountant at one time.
Yeah.
I actually got a job as an accountant, and then a week later, I think it was, someone phoned me about a team in Spain, and this was when I was 19, I think it was 19, I think, after the 2 years of Manchester.
Yeah.
And I got this, and I was like, no, I can't take it.
Right.
I can't take it. I took the job.
Yeah.
Like I actually took the job, and I was like, that's one of the worst things I think, because I could have developed so much in that young age.
Yeah.
Like you have to really enhance your skills when you're younger, because as you get older, of course, that you still improve, but there's more mental attributes. There's more tactical things that you have to sort of like understand. And when you cross that threshold from being a junior player to a senior player, then to a senior player at a very like a highish level, it then becomes a bit more complex. And some players tend to get caught out because maybe they were good physically, but it wasn't good mentally.
Yeah. And
vice versa, do you know what I mean? But my advice would be, to the young kids out there, but obviously people that are looking at opportunities and going forward. It's one of those where it's, again, cliche, but literally go with your gut instinct when opportunities are coming at you. And also take your chance. Like there's certain things that I've done in the past that have got me the opportunities that not many other people would. And I'll say like one of those opportunities that I got out of thin air was playing for the GB under 20s. Yeah. And that's a very high accolade for myself. That's like one of my best achievements, was playing on that team. And that kind of came out of thin air. It was just literally just the email of the coach. The email said, "I'm sorry, we have full roster, but thank you for your time." I said, "No problem," etc., etc. And then 2 weeks later, maybe some injuries, maybe some cancellations, but whatever it was, I was on the 20-man roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fought my way through, got to the final 12. Then we obviously had the European Championships in Greece that I was so happy to be a part of at the time, man, because I only been playing basketball for a few years.
Mm.
It was just wicked, man. Like one hell of an experience again, man.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of England basketball at the moment?
Get better.
Yeah.
It's getting better, definitely. Definitely getting better. The I think a lot of the problem is like with the teams at the moment. Like I personally feel like before when I was playing, there wasn't that many academies,
No.
and now it seems to be like a popular thing. Not to say that I have anything against it. I don't have any. I'm just saying that there's so many academies now that I feel like the talent gets diluted
Yeah.
into different avenues. Like
It's the same conversation me and Dom or me and Josh had.
Yeah.
Like back then when we were younger, it was there was
yeah.
like a few. You had to be really good to be playing National League. Now
Yeah.
obviously you still need to be good, but it seems a lot easier to
Yeah, do you
get
know
into the
what?
National League teams.
You're right though, because I always remember when Colin signed me up for this under 18s, and I ended up being with Chris under 18s and stuff. I was going to every practice like, oh, I'm not like under like National League. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is a cool achievement. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now it's like I don't think it still has that same level of respect
No.
because of we have different avenues now. We have the EABL, we have the ABL, which tend to be a little bit more, let's say, important, which it gains more traction.
Yeah.
It gets a lot more exposure than National League. So if that's where the players want to go because they want to go and progress further,
Yeah.
then obviously you can't fault the players because end of the day, like coaches will always do whatever they can to make sure their team is good for the season and for the future. But whether that one player is part of their plans or not, it doesn't matter. Like that player has to sort of have respect for himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hold himself accountable and
Yeah.
hold himself to a high value.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, it's good on the basis of like participation in basketball and stuff like that. Obviously, it's much more popular now. But yeah, like the competitive level is kind of
It's dropped. It's dropped
grey,
and it's but at the same time, the competition level may have dropped, but the exposure it's getting now is a lot higher. Like compared to when I played it, like we're talking. We get like good live streams from D1 games.
Yeah.
A lot of Division 1 and Division 2 teams are like so well organized that you can watch this and it's like you could be at home and you can feel like you're in the game. It's a good quality setup and stuff. And back then that was unheard of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's unheard of. There's some D1 outfits now that are better than or more organized than some BBL teams.
Yeah.
You know, but as a whole of British basketball and England basketball, it's definitely getting a lot more exposure. The link they have with YouTube with showing quite a lot of their games, I feel like will gain a lot of people to come, like some new watchers, some new fans, and hopefully they can come to the games and let's just hopefully build the sport up as a whole because we all know what it's done for us in our lives. You know what I mean, and how much it's helped us. So let's hope that it can go to other people out there, out in the world, man. You know what I mean?
That's it, mate. We appreciate it. Actually, before you go, so I had a message on the Instagram page a couple of days ago regarding the Journey episodes. And it's a young lad who is probably now maybe 17, I think. 17,
okay.
college age. So, and he's super enthusiastic. He kind of reminds me a bit of his coaching is kind of like he's got sort of Dom's enthusiasm for coaching, but he obviously still wants to. He doesn't want to follow that too much. Obviously, he plays hard as well, and you know he's always in the gym. Obviously, physically he's tall and long, but he's just obviously still a body, and he's a young body. But what advice would you give to him now? So he's sort of looking for opportunities. He's with the Cheshire Wire at the moment, but obviously he wants to sort of develop his career. What advice would you have for him?
Yeah. At that age now, 17, it's obviously it's still working on your game. Obviously, just keep improving. But in terms of like exposing yourself, like exposing like you as a player, if you want to get out there, straight away, number one, like you have to make a tape. I feel like obviously having a tape of your game,
massive now, isn't it?
Yeah, it just reflects you. And some coaches actually don't like highlight tapes, but they like to see full game tapes.
Yeah.
Because anyone could look good on a highlight tape.
Yeah,
like,
of course, yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, you could have amazing shots on one game, but you could have gone like 2 for 20.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, so be wary of that. Obviously, coaches will be looking like, if you see a highlight tape, they will be asking for full game tape. But no, in terms of going forward, like at that young age, like, you just got to stay focused, stay grounded, stay like, remember why you do it. Remember why you're doing it. Like, it might take you out of a situation. You're gonna have a lot of fun with it, and I think that's the most important thing. Like, just keep having fun with it all the time, because it's not a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to make it your job, it's not hard work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's getting up to that point can be really tough, but it's good. It's enjoyable hard work. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't mind working hard for it.
Exactly.
You don't mind waking up every day, doing 2 a days or whatever you're doing, like recovery sessions. Like, it's enjoyable, and when you enjoy it, it's not work.
Yeah.
Like, I wake up every morning, I go and work out, and I feel like it's not a chore to me, because it's gonna better me in the future, and I feel like other like young players, I feel, will benefit from that same sort of perspective.
Yeah.
Just stay grounded. Don't work on your craft, work on your game hard. Like, work on what you do as well. Work on what you do, because we'll go into another one where, like, a lot of kids are watching all these videos now, and they're trying to pull off 6, 7, 8 dribble moves, but they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, but why? It's like, oh, because I saw him do it and he makes it, but he can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like, at this important time of like your age of maturity, you got to sort of focus in and sort of like narrow down what you're good at, because that's what you're going to sell to coaches. You're going to be like, my name is etc.
Yeah.
I am good at this, this, and this. I will give you this, this, and this. And if you get the opportunity to go and do what you say you're going to do, that's it. You're flying. But if you go in saying you could do this, this, and this, but you can't do like a 1 dribble pull up effectively, then you're not going to get looked at these higher leagues, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a narrowing on your craft, really zone in on what you do, and just, like I said, man, it's so cliche, but just have fun with it, man.
Yeah.
Just have fun. Yeah.
Con, it's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for the opportunity, Josh, man. Thanks for the chat.
Take it easy, mate. We'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks.
Cheers, mate.